Did you know that most tenants never negotiate their rent, even when the landlord fully expects them to?
Whether it's a shorter lease, a lower deposit, or getting repairs done before you move in, there's almost always room to negotiate if you know how.
Today we'll show you exactly how to have that conversation in confident, natural English.
Welcome back to English in Context. I'm Sarah, and I'm here with William. Episode 51 is all about renting, specifically, how to negotiate the terms of your lease like a confident English speaker.
This topic comes up a lot for our listeners who are living or planning to live in English-speaking countries. Housing conversations involve very specific vocabulary that you won't always hear in a classroom.
We'll hear a conversation between a prospective tenant named Clara and a landlord named Greg. Clara is firm but polite, a tone that's really important to strike in this kind of negotiation.
Listen carefully for the phrases she uses to push back without sounding rude. That balance is one of the trickiest things to get right in a second language.
Greg, so, what did you think of the place? It's available from the 1st of next month.
Clara, I really like it. The location is ideal for me. I did notice, though, that the listing mentioned $2,200 a month. Is there any flexibility on that?
Greg, well, the market's pretty competitive right now. I've had a lot of interest in the property.
Clara, I understand that. I've been renting for 5 years with no missed payments and excellent references from my previous landlords. I was hoping we could come to an agreement at around $2,050.
Greg, that's quite a bit lower than what I had in mind. The best I could do is $2,100, provided you sign a 12-month lease.
Clara, I can work with that. Could we also discuss the security deposit? The listing says 2 months' rent, which is quite steep. Would you consider reducing it to 1 month?
Greg, normally I wouldn't, but given your track record, I'm willing to meet you halfway, 1.5 months.
Clara, that's fair. One more thing. I noticed the kitchen tap is dripping and a couple of the window seals are worn. Would those be sorted before I move in?
Greg, I'll have my maintenance guy take a look this week. If the tap needs replacing, we'll get it done. The windows I'll need to look into more carefully.
Clara, could we put that in writing as part of the tenancy agreement? I just want to make sure we are both on the same page.
Greg, that's reasonable. I'll have the updated agreement sent to you by Thursday. If everything looks good, we can sign by Friday. Great conversation. Let's break down the key expressions. First, flexibility on that. When Clara asked, "Is there any flexibility on that?" she was politely asking whether the price could be changed. This is much more natural than, "Can you lower the price?"
Meet you halfway is a classic negotiation phrase. It means neither side gets exactly what they want, but both compromise to reach a middle ground. It's cooperative and professional.
Quite steep is used when something is more expensive than expected or fair. The rent is quite steep for a studio apartment. It's a soft, polite way to express that a price is too high.
Put that in writing is essential vocabulary for any legal or formal agreement. It means you want something confirmed in a written document, not just spoken. This protects both parties.
And on the same page, it's an idiom meaning that everyone has the same understanding. Clara used it to confirm she and Greg had a shared agreement before moving forward.
Now let's hear a follow-up conversation where Clara calls Greg after reading the draft tenancy agreement.
Clara, hi Greg, thanks for sending the agreement over so quickly. I've gone through it, and there are a couple of clauses I'd like to clarify.
Greg, of course, go ahead.
Clara, Clause 7 mentions that I'm liable for all repairs under $300. That seems quite broad. Could we set that threshold a bit lower, say $150?
Greg, that's actually pretty standard in most agreements, but I understand your concern. I could do $200. That's as low as I'd be comfortable going.
Clara, all right, $200 works. The other thing is the break clause. Currently, the agreement doesn't allow for early termination. I travel for work and would feel more at ease if we could include a 6-month break clause.
Greg, that's something I'd have to think about. A break clause adds uncertainty for me as a landlord. Could you give me until tomorrow to consider it?
Clara, of course. I appreciate you being open to discussing these things. I think we're nearly there.
Let's unpack that second conversation. Gone through it is a phrasal verb meaning to read or examine something carefully. I've gone through the contract and found a few issues. It's very common in professional settings.
Liable for. This is a legal term meaning responsible for. If you are liable for repairs, you must pay for them. It's essential vocabulary when dealing with leases, contracts, or any formal agreement.
Break clause. This is a very useful term to know. It refers to a provision in a lease that allows you to exit early, usually after a minimum period. Always ask for one if you're uncertain about your plans.
Feel more at ease means to feel more comfortable or reassured. It's softer than saying I need or I want. Clara used it strategically to explain her request without sounding demanding.
And nearly there. It's a simple but powerful phrase that signals you're close to a final agreement. It's encouraging and keeps the conversation positive, which is very important in negotiation.
Let's slow down and repeat some of the most useful phrases from today. Repeat after us.
Is there any flexibility on that?
I was hoping we could come to an agreement at around $2,050.
Could we put that in writing as part of the tenancy agreement?
I would feel more at ease if we could include a 6-month break clause.
Quiz time. Question 1. What does meet you halfway mean in a negotiation? A. Give you everything you want. B. Refuse to negotiate at all. C. Agree on a compromise between both positions. D. Ask someone to come to your location.
The answer is C. Agree on a compromise. Neither side gets exactly what they want, but both move toward the middle. It's one of the most useful phrases in any negotiation.
Question 2. Clara said the deposit was quite steep. What did she mean? A. It was very far away. B. It was unreasonably high. C. It was lower than she expected. D. It was difficult to pay in cash.
The answer is B. Unreasonably high. Steep, when referring to prices, means the cost is higher than expected or fair.
Question 3. What is a break clause in a tenancy agreement? A. A rule about how to break items in the apartment. B. A fixed penalty for breaking the lease. C. A provision that allows the tenant or landlord to end the lease early. D. A clause about noise after a certain time.
Correct C. A break clause gives either party the right to exit the agreement before it expires, usually after a set minimum period such as 6 months.
And that's episode 51 done. Renting and negotiating is a real-world skill, and now you have the English to do it confidently.
Remember, knowing the right phrases makes a huge difference. Is there any flexibility? Will take you much further than can you lower the price?
Next episode, we are discussing climate change in the workplace, a topic that increasingly comes up in professional settings. See you then.